You can learn 100 words a day in any language with this memorization technique. Yes, you heard that right. You can learn 100 words a day without forgetting them. All those world records for memorization, they all use this technique. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. So keep watching because this technique is going to completely change the way you learn languages. As soon as you start using this technique, you're going to learn way faster. You probably have this experience. You study lots of vocabulary from flashcards, you feel great, you learn the words, and then a couple of days later, it's all gone. And you try to speak and you don't remember anything. And you try to listen and it all sounds like noise again. And you start thinking that maybe you're not good at languages and that your memory is not very good and all sorts of things. But let me tell you something. That's not the problem. The problem is not your memory. The problem is the method you are using. People try to use apps and grammar drills and random vocabulary lists, so-called immersion, hours and hours of YouTube videos, and none of it really helps you learn vocabulary fast. At least not in large quantities. And if you want to speak a language fluently, you do need to learn a lot of vocab. The best way to learn a lot of vocabulary fast, 100 words a day or even more, is using mnemonic associations. This is the technique that memory athletes use. Also actors and professional interpreters who have to memorize scripts. They also often use this. And it's much simpler than you think. Using mnemonics is really simple. You have to learn how to take advantage of the fact that your brain remembers stories and images and emotional connections way better than abstract words and raw data. So if you want to memorize a word instantly, you need to create a mental image that links the sound of the word to its meaning in English. When you do this correctly, the word sticks immediately. And if this sounds complicated, I'll give you some examples. Let's memorize some Spanish words right here, right now. The verb to eat is comer in Spanish. What does comer sound like? Camera. So imagine yourself eating a camera. Absurd, right? Visualize it. Imagine yourself eating it. Visualizing that ridiculous scene of you eating the camera will help you remember much better that comer means to eat in Spanish. Another example. Beber, to drink. What does beber sound like? Beaver or Bieber, Justin Bieber. Imagine yourself drinking Justin Bieber. And that's going to be very weird, right? And there's no way you forget that if you visualize it. Another Spanish verb, decir, to say. Decir, DC, dice. Imagine rolling dice and the dice speaking to each other and back to you. They're talking back to you. Also weird. Easy to remember. Another example, pensar, to think. Pensar. Sounds kind of like pencil. So visualize a pencil that's thinking. A pencil that's got one of those cartoonish bubbles where you can see what they are thinking. Again, easy to remember. You can create these associations all day with lots and lots of words. You simply create a vivid image linked to the translation. You can do this with 100 words a day or more. And you'll remember a lot of them relatively easily. But then the real question is, how do you avoid forgetting them afterwards? And this is where spaced repetition comes in. I'm not talking about flashcards. They're really time consuming. I'm talking about reviewing using example sentences with audio. You take all the words you memorized and you put them in example sentences, you create audio files, and you listen to them over and over again. You can listen to them while doing other things. And because you just memorized those words using mnemonic associations, you will understand them when you hear them in context. And this solves the time problem because it's really easy to listen to those sentences on repeat while you do a lot of other things, like going for walks, going for runs, working out, doing housework, lots of things. You can do lots of things while listening to these sentences. And that's it. This is how you learn a lot of words fast. It's a very simple routine. Step 1, you need to learn new words with mnemonics. Once you get good at this technique, you can memorize 100 in half an hour. Step 2 is to create audio files with example sentences of the words and to listen to them over and over again throughout the day. You can also repeat the sentences aloud if you want to learn them more actively. And that's basically it. If you listen to those sentences regularly for a few weeks, you will never forget them ever again. And if you keep doing this consistently, in a matter of weeks, you'll have thousands of words that you can easily remember inside complete sentences that you can actually use in conversation. You'll understand a lot more and you'll be able to speak a lot more as well, because vocabulary is the most important thing when it comes to language learning. This method always works with any language. Even if you only have 30 or 40 minutes a day, you will get really good results if you use mnemonics and you review the words then with audio. This technique is a game changer, so you should start practicing now. I've put together a lot of tutorials on how to use this and similar techniques, so go watch them.